Hi, everyone. We've gathered here today to tell ICE to get the hell out of our city. In the dead of night, ICE agents used flashbang grenades to burst through this apartment building. They deployed drones and helicopters, chopped down people's doors, and dragged children out into the street, some of them even naked. I do not recognize or want to recognize this America where people are being treated like animals, less than animals. President Trump said he's deploying war on Chicago and using Chicago as a training ground for federal troops. He can keep his war. Our city was working to reduce crime successfully, but President Trump is the one who brought the violence and the National Guard to Chicago. He is a weak president who abuses his power, and he's an incompetent leader who filled his cabinet with unqualified people. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem is a disgrace. She spews racist lies, poses for the cameras, and avoids all accountability for her actions. ICE has been given the green light to racially profile people based off the color of their skin, their accents, and their names. But this is a story that people of color, unfortunately, are all too familiar with.
That's right.
But brothers and sisters, this is not the time. We are not going to stand silently on the sideline.
Yes.
Our immigrant neighbors are being hunted down, dragged out of bed, and killed during traffic stops by law enforcement, much like what happened last week. Whether you're an immigrant or you just happen to live in that building, you're affected. Right now, Black and Latino members of Congress are standing together to defy President Trump's divide and conquer strategy. I will continue to stand with you. I will not abandon this cause. I will never abandon this cause and make sure that people are treated with dignity. I met with a constituent this week who's here today. Genesis's mom was arrested and detained by ICE a week ago. She should have been assigned something called an A number so she can be tracked by her family. ICE assigns people numbers like FedEx assigns packages tracking packages. And Genesis and her family can't even find her mom. They don't know what they're doing with her if she's been deported. Where is their humanity for Genesis and her sister? I am demanding answers on behalf of Genesis and her family so they can be reunited with their mom or at least know where their mom is. I would now like to invite both her and Ana Guajardo, Executive Director of Centro de Trabajados Unidos, an organization that's been working to find answers for Genesis. And I just want to thank all the people, all my colleagues, all the neighbors that are helping out with this very, very tragic, un-American incidences that continue to go on. Every day it is something new, and it's a disgrace for our country. Ana?
Hello everyone, Ana Guajardo with Centro de Trabajadores Unidos, United Worker Center, southeast side of Chicago and south suburbs of Chicago. Laura Murillo, an entrepreneur who lived in the southeast side of Chicago, has been in this country for more than 20 years, was abducted by ICE outside of the Home Depot 2 weeks ago. Laura has not been given, as Congresswoman Kelly mentioned, an A number, an assigned number where her attorney can locate her and be able to proceed with legal remedies. Laura faces danger if she returns to Mexico. Her son was murdered when he returned from the U.S. to Mexico. But her lawyers are not even able to get access to Laura, submit a G-28 form, which is what's needed to properly legally represent her. This government claims that she violated prior removal orders, but does not give us any information or an A number in order for the attorneys to be able to properly follow through. How can that be true? Which is true? Do we want an America, Goulash, where parents can be stripped from their children any time of the day or night, or even just trying to sell tamales outside of a Home Depot in the southwest side? She was shipped across the country, put in immigration jails outside of a military base while being deprived from access. She also was injured while being detained by ICE. She has not received any proper medical attention. That's not right based on our constitutional order that I was taught growing up here in the U.S. I ask you, how is the government serving the American people with any of this? Laura is not a criminal. She was an entrepreneur, a worker, a mother. She fed her children through sweat and tears, working in this country for many years. She has done an excellent job raising her daughter, Genesis, who's currently going through college, and now now her family depends on her. Her young sister depends on her to take care of her. Trump, this administration, ICE, every government agency is attacking working class families in the U.S. They are targeting cities like Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, cities that run on the hard-working labor of immigrants. Arresting immigrant workers does not make America great. Not now, never. Return Laura to her daughters. Allow her to confer with her lawyers and provide her with the case number that she's needed to be able to proceed. Congresswoman Kelly, Senator Robert Peters, Senator Tammy Duckworth, and Alderman Peter Chico have submitted letters of support to Laura's case. We thank them for the support. We thank Congressman Chuy Garcia also for the support. Across behind me, you see, a week ago, several individuals were disturbed that night and taken by ICE agents, the FBI, Border Patrol. This is part of the prolonged attack on Chicago communities by Trump and other mega leaders to harm Chicagoans, divide communities, and carry out their hateful agenda, first through their nurse busting scheme and now through mass raids. These families deserve better. Human dignity demands better, and our laws and our Constitution demand better. We asked if anyone knows of any individuals that we're taking outside of here to please call the ICIR hotline, 855-435-7693. And I'm gonna end. As a veteran that served this country, I cannot believe and I am upset at how the government is gonna use the military to take over domestic issues when it is the job of the government, of this administration, to stand up and protect constituents regardless of who they voted for. I'm gonna now pass it to Father Steve. ¿En español? Sí. Mi nombre es Ana Guajardo, Organización del Centro de Trabajadores Unidos. Aquí estoy al lado con Génesis, la hija de Laura Murillo, que fue detenida hace 2 semanas vendiendo sus tamales. Una negociante, una mujer que ha trabajado en este país por más de 20 años, apoyando a la comunidad, participando en diferentes eventos, ayudando a gente que no tenía comidas para proveer con comida de lo que estaba ya haciendo. Esta señora Laura Murillo fue tomada por inmigración. Ni siquiera le han prohibido el número a los abogados para que puedan contactarse y poder proceder con la ayuda que necesitamos. Es triste que este gobierno y esta administración tome provecho de trabajadores y negociantes de nuestra comunidad como Laura y los voten a otro lado del estado en donde se hace bien difícil para que nos comuniquemos con ellas. Nosotros le pedimos a todos que nos apoyen a rescatar a Laura. Demandamos que inmigración no nomás nos pruebe el número de A, sino que suelte a Laura porque ella no es un criminal, no ha hecho nada malo en contra de este país. Al contrario, ella ha podido apoyar a 2 niñas y una niña menor que tiene asunto de discapacidad, disability. Necesitamos que ICE y el presidente Trump tome acción. Y como veterana de este país, me da una vergüenza que esta administración esté utilizando el militar para poder maltratar a gente de estas comunidades, que lo único que estamos haciendo es trabajando en este país. Aquí atrás de mí, ICE vino hace una semana, destruyó los apartamentos, se llevó varias personas y les pedimos a gente que tiene contacto con esos familiares o sabe algo, que llamen el número de ICIR Hotline, que es 855-435-7693. Gracias, y ahora se la paso al padre Steve, que es claretiano, que estaba en la iglesia de Guadalupe.
Good afternoon. I'm Father Steve Niskanen. I'm a Claretian missionary, a member of Priests for Justice for Immigrants, and I speak with all faith leaders of many different traditions, both Christian and non-Christian, in denouncing the raids that are taking place not only here but all over Chicago and throughout this country, that are dividing families, that are causing so much pain unnecessarily. We're ripping apart ourselves. This is not law and order. This is persecution. This is opposition, and it needs to stop. I'm here today to stand alongside Laura Murillo's family and the immigrants that were taken in this building. Laura's a hard-working mother. Like the great majority of immigrants, they've come not to take from the country, but to give. And they've given for many, many years, and we've ignored them, and we've used them, and then we've scapegoated them.
Amen.
And now we're trying to get rid of them, and we're going to see, if we're not careful, how much we need them, because they're part of us. Laura simply did her part, as immigrants do throughout the country, to raise their children in our country. They love our country. She's not a criminal, nor does she deserve to be treated as one. This community welcomed their new neighbors over the last couple of years and lived in peace. We know that many people seeking safety came to the South Shore community, and the safety was disrupted by our administration's violent and inhumane tactics this week. This was a violent attack, and there's trauma from this raid that will be felt by our community. In the aftermath, we see our neighbors protecting neighbors in a beautiful act of solidarity. We see ourselves coming together. We're not just one race, we're many races. We're America.
Amen.
And we're committed to continuing to build on that as people of faith. Part of why this operation was so harmful is that it was carried out in the middle of the night, indiscriminately, and it displaced people in the building. And now as Anna said, it's become more difficult to reach out to those who have the right, according to our Constitution, for legal and community resources. So, as a faith leader, I too call on the community to support and help find the families that were taken. As faith leaders, we must welcome and serve our brothers and sisters. As Pope Leo recently reiterated,
Yes, he did.
serving our immigrant brothers and sisters is a pro-life issue. We need to support our immigrant brothers and sisters. We need to welcome a stranger. If we see immigrant and customs enforcement, ICE, in our community, we do need to call ICIRR, the Family Support Hotline, at the number mentioned, 855-435-7693. We know that within ICE there are people that, they're not all bad people, but they need to focus on criminals. They need to focus on those who are really a problem, not on families, not on immigrants who are good people and supporting the country, seeking to make this country great again.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Congressman Chuy Garcia from the 4th District. And we are gathered here today because this was the scene of one of the latest travesties of President Donald Trump's war on the people of this country. And we come here standing with the families and all who were victimized and terrorized by those actions. This is a part of what's become and will be one of the most shameful periods in American history, but it's not too late to wake up and to turn it around. Yesterday, it was Brighton Park, where masked ICE agents in military gear with military weapons shot a woman's car up on Kedzie and 40th Street. Last week, they choked a black man on the west side and stormed our community in a military-style raid. Let's be clear, ICE is not about safety. ICE is about control and sowing fear amongst our people. When an agency built to intimidate is handed billions of dollars, it only spreads terror everywhere where it can. This isn't just about immigrants. This is about controlling every one of our communities, black, brown, poor, working class. They think they can get away with it, but they're wrong. We're here to remind them that we will hold fascists accountable. The shame will hang in history. Trump may be gone when that happens, but his enablers must be dismantled. Chicago will not be intimidated. Our city's strength has always come from the immigrants and the working people, from the native inhabitants to the city's first founder, Jean-Baptiste Dusalvo, our black Haitian founder, to the waves of Polish and Mexican and countless others who have helped build our city. We fought through segregation, disinvestment, and the racist policies before, and we will fight through this as well. Trump is using ICE like his Gestapo. They kidnap people from our streets, including U.S. citizens. They blow open the doors as they did throughout this development here, and they disappear mothers and fathers in the middle of the night. That's why we're here today. The same system that has caged black people in the system that deports Latinos today. It is for profit, for hate, and for power, and not for justice. So we stand together, black and brown, shoulder to shoulder. When we unite, we are powerful. We can stop mass deportations, we can fight back, and we can overturn budget cuts as well and reject the politics of fear. Our message is simple. Chicago will fight. Chicago is resisting, and Chicago will not be broken. Together, we will build a country that is just and that protects every American family as they should be protected. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Muy buenas tardes a la prensa hispanoparlante. Estamos aquí hoy para denunciar la acción de terrorismo que ocurrió aquí a medianoche, hace solo una semana, donde desaparecieron personas, las secuestraron, donde tumbaron puertas, donde terrorizaron a todos los habitantes de este edificio, incluyendo afroamericanos y latinos en particular. Estamos aquí para denunciar lo ocurrido aquí, como ayer lo vimos en plena vista en la comunidad de Brighton Park, donde tirotearon a una persona, donde intentaron terrorizar a la comunidad, incluyendo con armamento militar. Pero la comunidad prevaleció, la comunidad resistió y la comunidad exigió justicia, lo mismo que hacemos aquí hoy. Muchas gracias. Ahora me da gran gusto de presentar a la representante Delia Ramirez.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. I'm grateful to be here with Congresswoman Kelly, Congressman Jackson, Congressman Garcia, and the community who is saying, under our watch, this will not happen ever again. What is happening across the city of Chicago and across the country is despicable. What they're doing is evil. Our communities in Chicago are experiencing the violence of a president who is unconstitutional, who is unlawful, and who seems to be unaccountable with his terror force, led by Kristi Noem in Homeland Security. Think about it. Chemical irritants released on a commercial corridor across the street from one of our schools. People shot with impunity. Children and seniors dragged out of their bed and zip-tied. People shot. Military-grade equipment used against peaceful protesters. And duly elected public servants arrested for asking questions to ICE inside one of our safety net hospitals. This is what Chicagoans are experiencing every single day under the leadership of Donald Trump and Kristi Noem with this terror force called ICE. The tactics are putting our community in harm's way. You know what's most dangerous and most terrorizing in the city of Chicago right now? It's called ICE, ICE. You see, it's never been about safety. You know that. It's never been about security. Donald Trump doesn't care if Chicago thrives. He wants to destroy our city. Kristi Noem has proudly gone on TV yesterday and said, Chicago, get ready because the Department of War is coming to Chicago, an American city. A cabinet leader has declared war on American city. If that is not treason, then what is? This administration will attempt to justify violence and attempt to attack us because they think they can get away with it. But let me be very loud and clear to Kristi Noem, to Donald Trump, and to every fascist who justifies what happened in this building. Not on our watch. Amen. This community will continue to organize and demand that every person with the title, with the elected title in the community, in DC and here, does everything in our power to keep our community safe from the terrorist organization called Department of Homeland Security. And let me tell you, as a member of the Committee on Homeland Security, we're demanding oversight of Broadview. We're requesting and demanding a meeting with the Chicago Field Office Director Russell Holt. And we want a full investigation in what is happening across the city of Chicago and the entire state of Illinois. We're going to continue to call for that because it is our job to do everything in our power to hold them accountable. Right. And to our Black community, to our Latino community, to our immigrant community, this is our moment of solidarity. Yes. Because fascism always requires a public enemy. And they want to divide us. They want to continue to pit us against each other. But what they are doing in this moment is to fulfill their white nationalist agenda, to attempt to break us all. But today, in this front of this building, we are together because we understand that our liberation is intertwined in the liberation of each other. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Our liberation is intertwined in the liberation of each other. We will not allow you to come for Black lives, immigrant lives, trans rights, our community. We will take care of our community.
Yes,
and Chicago does not need the National Guard. Solidarity and unity across a rainbow coalition is a resistance that will get us through this moment and over the next few years and keep us safe from Donald Trump and Kristi Noem. And so let me just say a few words in Spanish. La solidaridad es lo que nos va a sacar adelante. Para Laura y para los niños y para las comunidades que continúan siendo aterrorizadas. Para nuestras familias que en este momento están determinando si pueden salir a la tienda a comprar comida. Para la gente que no ha ido a trabajar en 2 semanas por el miedo que uno de estos agentes en máscara te quiera no solamente arrestar, sino que balacear. Quiero que sepas que nosotros como comunidad en solidaridad todos juntos continuaremos demandando contabilidad y pidiendo y demandando al presidente y a Kristi Noem que tengan contabilidad, que dejan esas redadas porque eso no tiene nada que ver con crimen. El crimen más grande en la ciudad de Chicago en este momento lo está cometiendo ICE. Así que quiero que sepan que la solidaridad en la comunidad afroamericana, en la comunidad inmigrante, en la comunidad latina, es la manera que nosotros salimos adelante y nos cuidamos uno al otro. La división tiene que terminar. Estamos juntos y solamente juntos saliremos adelante. Así que muchas gracias a todos que están aquí. Thank you to everyone that is here. We will continue in collective solidarity. And no one else can talk about that collective solidarity the way that one of my colleagues that's here right now can. Let me introduce to you Congressman Jonathan Jackson.
Before Congressman Jackson speaks, we just wanted to bring up a resident of the building, a Black American that was taken also. She is an American citizen and wanted to briefly tell her story.
I just want to know, why was the black people detained for some hours when we didn't have no business being detained at all? And they asked us, well, we U.S. citizen, and we said, yeah, but we still was detained for some hours.
Lawsuit.
And they didn't knock at people's doors. They bust people's doors down. They was out in the hallways. I got a gun put in my face and everything. And me personally, I don't appreciate that at all. It was several of us that got detained for some hours. I'm not the only one. And we asked them what was going on, and they didn't answer us. And I want answers. I have kids, I have grandkids. And if I would have got killed, who gonna answer for it? Who's gonna answer for it? Nobody. And it was crazy how that they did this. It was real crazy. And I don't appreciate none of it. My friends, my associates, my people, period, got detained. We tried to get the leader to talk to us. He wouldn't even come and talk to us at all. They didn't let us go until about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Period.
They had it for a while.
And that's not appropriate at all. They just busting doors down.
That's why we're here.
And right now, I feel some type of way. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I feel some type of way. My wrist was swollen. They was bruised, and they had the handcuffs real tight on us. And I'm asking them to unloosen them. They talking about they can't. And then they had one guy to move out of his seat for the immigrants to sit down. And he was black. They treated us like we wasn't nothing. Like we wasn't even black people at all. And that's unacceptable. It's very unacceptable. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank my colleagues. I'd like to thank Congresswoman Robin Kelly, Congresswoman Delia Ramirez, Congressman Chuy Garcia. What you've seen here is a crime scene that will go down in history like Elaine massacre, that will go down in history like the brutality of a government. We are standing together, black and Hispanic, the religious community and white. The Trump administration has failed. It will not work. We will not be separated. Hispanics and blacks were living peacefully together in this building. Now this building has been emptied out. This is another property that will not pay property taxes. The renters, people that had paid their rent, have now been made homeless. Children were brought out of this building with zip ties, put on the ground right here in front of us in the middle of the night. The president said he was going after felons. No, he's going after families. We all look like we are immigrants. We have to stop this immediately. We continue to stand up in the midst of this bestiality on the behalf of the federal government. We will meet it with love. We will meet it with civility. We will meet it with humanity. We demand decency. U.S. citizens have had guns drawn on them, long-barreled guns put in their face in the middle of the night. You think this may not happen to you? Yes, it can. These people are living peacefully. And in closing, I would like for you to know, These people have the presumption of innocence. We stand by the Constitution. We're simply asking the federal government to still believe in the Constitution of the land. We still believe in due process. There's a presumption of innocence. There are men, soldiers, and women that have told me they have been triggered by their PTSD. They've not been able to talk in 2 days. They've just started coming forward. It's a trauma. Now, as you look at this school across the street, children aren't going back to school. This building has now been abandoned. And we're going to ask you as a congressional delegation that have been denied our rights of oversights to go into Broadview and to go into facilities. We're demanding that the federal government recognize us as co-equal branches of government. We simply want to see, we want to administer justice. This privatization and this bestiality, this brutality, when you go in here, you're gonna see apartments trashed. You're gonna see that the boarders came in, those persons that have the contracts to do the boarding up of the properties. Then this will go off of the tax rolls. Then this will be salvaged as scavengers. We want our community to stay whole. Look at the end of the block and you will see this building had been newly renovated and now it's been gutted once again. So we're asking that you all would join us, the members of the congressional delegation, to please join us and take a walk into the building with us. The security lock has been broken. The doors are now wide open. I'm Congressman Jonathan Jackson. Decency and humanity in the face of this Trump bestiality and brutality.